If you could just tell us kind of how the sanctuary started and how you two got to know each other.
Okay.
You want to go? You can go.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah, well, I guess it starts when Edie brought me a resume when she was 13 to come work at my farmer's market. And she came about every month, and she'd come with a resume that was about this long, and every month there'd be another little line at the bottom.
You would send me away again.
I say, no, but maybe later. And then I think I hired her when she was about 15, and she worked for me at the farmer's market every Saturday. And I sold vegetables and I sold beef, which was to her credit because she didn't like me selling beef. But she would, the customers ask her, well, which cut's your favorite? And she'd laugh and say, oh, I don't eat.
Yeah. My early vegan days.
Yeah, but also the neat thing was she didn't shun it, you know? So, but anyways, she also worked with me here at the farm as an intern, learning how to farm. And she stayed in one of the trailers, I think, the honeymoon suite.
I stayed here 1 year and then there another year. So for
and
a
just
couple
learned how to
summers.
grow vegetables and care for animals.
Care the animals, yeah.
And then I took her with me to the butcher shop, and I think that's what changed her life. I'm gonna find more shade.
When I went to the butcher shop is I think the first time that I really realized I really made that connection, because before that I was thinking about it and I was kind of on the fence about everything, but like seeing, even though I didn't see anything too bad, I didn't see any of the animals getting slaughtered, but just being there and knowing that all the animals there were
Dead
not
cows
going
walking.
to live much longer.
They're all going to die today.
They're all gonna die, yeah.
Which
So
is kind of odd. And there was llamas. There's little lambs.
yeah,
You know, I never thought they slaughtered llamas.
yeah,
You know, they call it mountain goat if you're down on Queen Street.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah, but I think, knowing that this is such a high standard of, like the best butcher shop there is, and it still didn't feel right to me, so I just couldn't, I couldn't do it anymore. I think that was.
And it's at my market. It wasn't because I didn't have demand for beef. My last beef, I took an entire beef to the market in coolers, and I sold the entire thing in 9 minutes. That's a 1,200-pound animal in 9 minutes. I had that much demand. I had ladies would come. I had one lady there at 3:15 in the morning, waiting to be first in line to hoard, because the other side of it is they ate meat, but they also knew that I took really good care of my cows, and that was a value to them, which is different. But if they were going to eat meat, they wanted to do it as best they could. So they would. I used to always run farm tours and show people how to farm, not just do fundraisers. I used to show them through the how to grow vegetables organically, and they would see how I raise cows. And I was very careful to still treat them with respect. I hauled them myself in my own truck, and the key to me, the thing I would always look for, if there's any manure in the back of my trailer when I got to the butcher shop. If there's shit all over the trailer, they were scared shitless. If you got there and the trailer was clean and they're looking around, you did your job right. And so my customers appreciate it, and they're still mad at me. Every time I go to my farmer's market, and it's been, how many years, Edie? Is this the fourth year? Is it 5 years?
Yeah.
They're still mad at me because they haven't been able to find a good supply of well, they call it humane beef.
They can get Beyond Meat instead. That's okay.
Yeah. So there's options now, and you don't need to have a supplement. You really don't have to.
No.
So.
But even despite the fact that the animals were raised with such care and raised to the highest standard, at the end of the day they still
they were still a product.
To get sent to slaughter.
And I didn't like having a product number on my beef, because we got to know every one of these guys. Everyone's got a personality, and everyone is a character. And I'm really, really grateful that I don't have to do that anymore. But look at how many people it takes to do it. There's so many people working. I have some volunteers coming twice a week and working hours and hours in the snow and in the rain and shoveling shit and stuff in their city clothes, and their car smells like cow manure. And real dedicated people coming so that I don't have to make that choice.
Yeah, we're so lucky.
We're really lucky.
What was the turning point for you? When did you decide that you were no longer going to send your cows to slaughter?
Well, I just thought of that option, when I was trying to save that baby calf. I had a baby calf. The calf was actually smaller than my son's Newfoundland puppy. And the puppy was about, well, he hadn't had it long. But this cow was only about that big. And it was premature, and it wouldn't normally have survived. So, and that's just it, as I just had that little epiphany. It was unplanned, it wasn't something I thought about. I just thought, I wonder if I could. And I know I don't have the skill set to set up any of this stuff. I don't have computer skills, I'm just an old farmer.
What was it about that calf that made you
I think it was just,
change?
I had a whole afternoon to think about it and work at it, and I just had that. Sometimes you get ideas, they're not something you think about for a long time. It was an epiphany.
And then you find a vegan to run with your
And
crazy
then
idea.
well, that's it. Is you've got to have the other things around you. So you've got to have. I had to have Edith in my life too. You know, a non-judgmental vegan to say, Mike, yeah, we can do it, and this is what we'll do. You know, the old farmer himself couldn't have done it. I would still be doing it the old way if I didn't have influences around me to help to support. Because I couldn't run this stuff. You know how much work she does on this little machine of hers to coordinate all this skill set? But this old farmer can barely check his email.
But he wakes up, when you wake up in the morning to take care of the animals.
4:15.
Yeah. So it's different work, but it's still a lot of work.
Yeah, the sun comes up at 6 now. It's getting later and later now. It's interesting to see that.
Yeah.
So how can, if people want to donate to you, how can they go about doing that?
So our website is www.farmhousegardenanimalhome.com, and there you can just donate one time. You can be a monthly donor, so however much you want, even $2, $3, $5, however much you can afford every month, you can donate. Or you can sponsor an animal. So we have a page there where you can learn about all of our animals. You could, click on the picture of each one and sponsor one. And that really, really helps us take care of individual animals. So if you connect with one in particular, that really helps us. And then we also have fundraisers throughout the year. We have, we do like videos from the farm that you can gift to a loved one. We do these visiting day events so you can come out in person and meet the animals. There's lots of different ways to support. And of course, volunteer as well. You can sign up to volunteer on our website.
And they have private tours now. I see when we had the COVID thing, and this is the very first tour we could have for years now. And they would run small private tours. So I had volunteers coming like every couple of days with a little family group, which was really neat to see.
People have so much fun on those private tours. They're my favorite. I love leading them.
Well, because they're very, very friendly, and
Yeah.
you get to know people this way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And these are much more intense. You know, we start really early, and there's a lot of planning in it and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more stressful.
Yeah.
The,
But that's how we get by. Like, we need all of these little things that we do. We need it all.
They work
to
so
get
hard.
by.
Last year's bill to run the place was over $30,000, and that's just for the hay.
Just for the food, yeah.
Just for the hay. That's not doing any improvements or any fixing and stuff. That's
Vet
just
bills.
getting hay for it.
Just food.
But the neat thing is that I finished making hay. I'm not finished. I've got second cut, but first cut, we've almost got enough to go through the year. It was a really good hay year. This is for the farmers that are listening. Is that we did 326 or 29 round bales in the last 2 weeks. So yay!
That means peace of
we know that
mind.
because you can't buy hay all the time. Like sometimes it's a drought year and all the hay is being shipped out west to save the cows that have no food. So the hay is all being trucked out of Ontario, any surpluses. So it's really lucky that I can grow lots of hay too. So
I was going to add too, a big part of what we do is education. So we have our volunteers, Tanya, Mike, Odie, and Tilda, do something called Sanctuary Sundays, where kids can come out and learn about compassion for animals and taking care of them and all that. And we love to incorporate education into these events too and private tours. So I think the fact that we've also changed a lot of hearts and minds.